So John White here with Luke 10 and my longtime friend Tony Dale. And Tony has graciously offered to share a little bit about the Luke 10 conference, which he and Felicity attended back on the Labor Day weekend here. So Tony, I'll turn it over to you. Again, tell us who you are, where you are, and your comments about the conference.
Okay, well, delighted to do that, and thank you so much for the opportunity. Again, my name is Tony Dale. I live down in Austin, Texas, and John is doing this interview while I'm sitting comfortably in my office at work. Shut the door so that nobody complains that I'm either talking too loud or the boss isn't bothering to work today. And to share a few thoughts on the conference. It was the first Luke 10 conference that I've had the opportunity to go to, and Felicity and I thoroughly enjoyed being up there. And I think for us, I would probably narrow that down to a couple of things. The first was I loved watching the way that you and others who helped facilitate drew in everybody around the tables. And so we lived a verse that's been very important to all of us, 1 Corinthians 14:26, that when we come together, each one has something. And I watched that work very well in practice in, let's call it, a larger group, certainly larger than any of our home church gatherings would ever be. So that was great. I think the second thing that I noticed was within our very small sort of table churches, as you called them, even though I didn't know the other people in the table church prior to getting together for the weekend, it was still a very enriching, rewarding, and very real experience. Right from the start, people very willingly opened up about themselves, about what was going on in their lives, and it was fascinating seeing changes, good changes, just over the course of a weekend.
Good, thank you, Tony. And then we have seen some pretty amazing things with those table churches, quite remarkable. And then just a thought or two about maybe a takeaway for you, something that where you're putting things into practice after the conference.
Well, Felicity and I pretty much left from the conference to head off on a mission trip to Nepal and Myanmar. And over there we were working with groups of pastors from quite a variety of different church backgrounds and denominations. And of course working mainly through interpreters as well. But we introduced table church in both countries and found tremendous acceptance, a real eagerness to learn, a great openness to the concept that church really is two or three people with Jesus in the midst, with Jesus as the center of what's going on. And in one of the countries, we also took it beyond the concept of table church, which we used a lot because we were teaching on home churches, and so we would always only teach maybe 10 or 15 minutes and then break it down to conversation and discussion and interaction around the ideas. But in Myanmar, we also introduced the concept of sachet and really getting people to open up at a heart level. We didn't know what that would feel like in a cross-cultural context. Again, it worked extremely well with a real eagerness for people to connect heart to heart. So valuable takeaways.
That's thrilling to hear that, Tony. We have found these things to be amazingly transcultural, and so whether it was in France, we have some examples down in South America, India. Jim Mellon's doing some, I think he trained 200 pastors, so it's really encouraging to hear those stories. So thank you very much for sharing that.